Well, you know, any gardener, you talk about early spring, you got to think perennials. You just have to. So I asked Cindy Townsend to come here to show me what's new and some of the tried and true varieties.
Oh, and I'm excited to do that. You know that. We're going to start out with the shade and some of the new things that go into the shade. This is a ground cover, but slow ground cover, so don't depend on it to be a ground cover. But the common name for this is pig squeak. And you can hear if you rub the foliage, it sounds like a little pig squeaking. And I love this. It's called Virginia, and this one's Red Beauty. And see how dark and intense the flowers start when it starts erupting and blooming? And then it goes to different stages, so you'll have different colors within the garden. And I really, really like this. It likes a semi-moist soil, which happens to be the same type of soil that you would put the Dicentra in. And
so that's also called the bleeding heart.
Bleeding heart,
right? Absolutely.
And I love the shapes of the flowers here. They're just absolutely gorgeous. This one is a new introduction called Valentine. And when they come out, the intensity of red is just really bright, and then they kind of fade to that lighter pink and white. So I really love this, and I love the foliage. The one thing I want to tell you about this type of Dicentra is it likes the cooler temperatures. So when the heat of the summer kicks in, the foliage is going to try to die back on you. Let it die back. Don't try to save it by overwatering it and killing it. Just let the foliage die back. When the temperatures cool down again, the foliage will come back.
It's like a peony.
Yes. Yeah. Up here we have Digitalis, and this is another new one. This one is a dwarf variety. It's sterile, so it keeps perpetuating blooms. Thankfully, it decided to bloom a little bit for us today. It's just starting to open up. It's got an apricot peachy color, and then it's got red spotting down the throat, which I think is really adorable. And the foliage is a little bit different too. It's a thicker foliage, and it's really, really attractive. Goes really nice with the Aquilesias. Then over here we've got another ground covery type of perennial. This one is Dianthus, and this is Fire Witch, and it was past proven winner. And when they come up with the proven winners, they come up with those for their durability and functionality and their transition to go from one end. It's proven winner for the whole United States, so it's got to be a really tough plant.
So we love it here in Oklahoma.
Absolutely, you got to be tough to live here. This one is Neon Star, and I love Neon Star, and I think it really complements the Fire Witch, the color combination. And this one I've got in my yard and had it for a couple years. It's really a great performer. And then we've got the First Scent series. These are new on the scene, and one of my favorite ones is the Passion, and it was the first one to start blooming for us. And this should go most of the summer for you, or on and off at least for the summer. When it gets to the point where look at all these buds. When all these buds are spent, then you might want to go ahead and cut it back and clean it up a little bit and let it reflush. But out of this series, there's about 5 different ones. This one's Candy Floss with a nice, beautiful pink, soft pink to it. This one's Sugar Plum, a little bit more intense, but still within those same hues. So this is a series that blooms a little bit sooner and does really, really well. I brought in, not as many people are familiar with Louisa.
Now, I have never seen those, Cindy. They're cute. They're just cute.
Well, I've got a little story. The intensity of color with these, I think they're just a stunning flower, and then these also have different hues.
And what are they called?
Louisa.
Louisa.
And this particular variety is a rainbow mix. And I had one with even a brighter color set over here, and a customer came and took it out of the display. So there's a whole bunch of different color hues within that little plant. Now we're going to head over to, and actually the Louisa is a full sun, well-drained product, but we're into the full sun, and we've got the Homestead Verbena, which is an old-time garden favorite. Isn't that gorgeous?
Looks great.
And then we've got we've been trying to get reds into the hardy perennial spectrum. This one is Taylortown Red. And look at the intensity of color for this one. Looks absolutely amazing.
It's beautiful.
And the Homestead Verbenas tie in really well with the Stella d'Oro daylilies. See how the color really goes well? And a lot of people aren't familiar. There's the Stella d'Oro, but there's also one called Happy Returns, which is also a repeat bloomer, and it's a softer yellow. So you could have that intense yellow or a soft yellow. And
it's great to have the repeat bloom, because I know if you say you're on vacation in June when all of your daylilies are blooming, then you don't get a chance to really enjoy them as much.
Well, that's exactly right. So maybe by the time you get back, they'll be on a second set or something like that. Right. You're absolutely right. What I like about the repeat bloomers, we've got also Ruby Stella, which is in the red hues, and then the partner to Ruby Stella or Happy Returns would be Pardon Me. So, and I mix them. When I plant my beds, I mix all the colors because I like a lot of different colors, and also it extends the bloom time. So that's a really wonderful asset. If you jump over to here, this is a new Armeria, and this one is really, I didn't think too much about it when we were ordering and talking about it, but I love, this is called Ballerina Red. It's literally been blooming already for about 2 months.
Wow.
And look at all the buds backing it up. I mean, it just keeps perpetuating. It's basically a spring bloomer, but it should rebloom during the summer and kind of just sporadically bloom. The difference in this one's got a little bit thicker leaf to it. The other one, this is a rubifolia armeria, and see how much more grassy it is? So I didn't even recognize it as an armeria at first. I had Steve come back and tell me that that's absolutely what it was. Then we're going to jump over to here, the Gaillardias, Oklahoma favorite. Arizona Sun is one of my favorite Gaillardias. I like Arizona Sun because the bloom heads, this one is an immature bloom, but the bloom heads can reach 2 to 3 inches, and the plant is normally very well rounded. And last year we had an introduction of the Arizona Red Shades, which are really intense and beautiful. And this year we're going to have an introduction of the Apricot series, but this is an Arizona Apricot. So obviously it's immature, but we'll see how that one performs. And then another past proven perennial of the year is the Maynite Salvia with its bigger, nicer foliage. It's an early spring bloomer. Again, it's intermittent, and you'll have another flush in the fall. One that's really impressed me is out of a Sensation series, another Salvia numerosa. This one's white. We also have a deep blue and a rose pink and different colors, but these would be a good border plant because they're a lot more short and compact. So there you have it. That's what I have for this year.
Well, for now.
For now, and then we'll have more later.
This could go all day with you, I know. And thank you so much for showing us some great ideas. And coming up next, Brian Pirtle's going to join us, and he's got some ideas on how to plant your spring beds. So stay with us.